everyone, I'm Sam from the FPL Family and welcome back to our YouTube channel. This is another top picks video, this time of course for game week 4. Now the top picks are all about picking out who is going to be the top point scorer for each and every game week of the season. So this time around, of course, trying to pick out a defender, a midfielder and a forward that I think are going to have the most points come the end of game week 4. Now, starting as always with the defender. There are a number of defenders that I kind of looked at in this position because Manchester United have a really nice fixture against Newcastle. Could see Luke Shaw picking up a number of points in that one. Luca Dean is heavily fancied to pick up points in his fixture in game week 4. The Spurs defence have been rock solid, of course, over the beginning part of the season and regularly picking up those bonus points. And if Reguilon, for example, can get some attacking returns at Crystal Palace, again, we could see a good points haul from them. But my top points pick for defender this week comes from Wolves, and it's this chap, Sias. Now, I really like Sias, and if I was wildcarding, he would 100% be in my wildcard team going into game week 4. Wolves themselves have conceded just 27 shots so far this season. Only City have conceded less shots than Wolves have. Couple that with the fact that they've only conceded 20 from inside the box, and actually only 3 big chances they've conceded so far this season. So defensively, they have been rock solid. And when we consider that those 3 goals that they have conceded have been a Dele Alli penalty in game week 2 and an absolute worldie from Mason Greenwood, who was fantastic in game week 3. Suddenly we're really only talking about 1 goal conceded that wasn't something kind of out of the ordinary. When we have a little look at his potential upside, because of course if he's going to be the top scoring defender this week, he's not only going to have to keep a clean sheet, but he's also probably going to have to be in there with the bonus points. And as a result of that, he's probably going to pick up some attacking returns too. So having a little look at what Sias has done so far this season, he's had 3 goal attempts, more than any other Wolves defender. He's had 1 big chance. He's got 162 passes, which is second most across the Wolves team. So he is influencing the game and he is fully involved in what's happening across that Wolves, both defence and attack also. That's going to be positive for him in terms of bonus points and the underlying baseline bonus points. Every successful pass is going to start racking up those bonus points and lead him to be in with the hunt if he keeps a clean sheet and, of course, if we see some attacking returns from him. But it's not just goal threat. Of course, we do get goal threat from him, but he has also created 2 chances so far this season. So I think Sias could be a really fantastic wildcard pick. But not only that, I think he could be a great option in game week 4. And I'm thinking that he is going to be the highest scoring defender this time around. Moving into midfield, and again, this is a tricky decision because we have players like Salah with nice fixtures. We have players like Son, if he ends up being fit, with a nice fixture. But I'm going with Mason Mount this time around. 4 goal attempts for Mount so far this season. 2 shots from inside the box. Getting a chance, every 43 minutes. So a couple of chances every game. No Martinez for Aston Villa means that I am slightly concerned for that Aston Villa defence. I think Mason Mount is going to be a very, very big player and an important player in FPL this season, linking up now with Lukaku, but particularly against a Martinez-less Villa. I think he could cause damage this weekend. He's also taken 3 corners. Now, that's less than we normally see from him over the course of the season, but we've noticed that Reece James has been taking some of those corners as well. Now, with Reece James suspended in game week 4, that probably means Mason Mount is back on more corners, and therefore that's increasing his route to points. So we've got a really nice Chelsea player playing alongside some fantastic Chelsea options. In fact, that whole Chelsea team looks really good for points this weekend. But I think Mason Mount, with his set piece threat, with the fact that I'm expecting him to take more corners without Reece James there, and with the fact that Villa are Martinez-less going into this weekend, I suspect Mason Mount is going to be a very high scoring player this weekend. And I wish I owned him. I really wish that I owned him going into this weekend. And finally then, I couldn't really pick anybody else, could I, as the top points pick for forwards this weekend. Now, Ronaldo is about to have his second homecoming. We are fully expecting him to play against Newcastle at Old Trafford at the weekend. Now, of course, as has been widely reported, this is a game that is not going to be televised in the UK, so we won't be able to watch it if Ronaldo does go mental, but I am looking forward to watching it on Match of the Day. 36 goals for Ronaldo last season in Serie A for Juventus across 44 games in all competitions. He had a great season, as he always does. And when we have a little look back at Ronaldo in FPL in seasons gone by, he's scored over 200 points in his last 3 FPL seasons. In 06-07, he got 244 points. In 07-08, he got 283 points. That was from 31 goals and 6 assists. Yes, 31 goals. Now, of course, he was a midfielder the last time he was in the game, and that will have an impact on the number of points because extra points for goals, extra points for clean sheets, all of that good stuff. But in those last 3 seasons that he was a Manchester United player and was therefore available to us in FPL, he averaged 7.3 points per game over those 3 seasons. He was a ridiculous FPL asset and a ridiculously consistent FPL asset too. He was one that we all wanted to own back in those days. And I suspect that it's not going to be long before we all want to own Ronaldo again. Those that have wildcarded will likely have bought Ronaldo in. Those of you that had some money in the bank will also probably likely have tried to make a move for Ronaldo. But I think his ownership might be a little bit tampered by the fact that there's been some injuries over international break, and there will be some managers, myself included, who maybe don't move for Ronaldo this time around simply because you've got other problems to fix in your team, and taking -8s, -12s doesn't feel like the right thing to do, but maybe your team's not in a bad enough state to want to wild card out of it. So there will be managers that kind of fall into that black hole, and that means that this man could be, whilst not a full differential in terms of jammy picks because he's going to be owned by over 10% of the game, but it could be a good differential, and it might be the only point of the season where he is a differential. This home crowd, the way that he is going to be treated walking back onto that Old Trafford pitch, makes me think that Ronaldo is going to be the top point scoring forward in the game. I think it will be tight with Lukaku because, of course, much like I said about Mason Mount, going into this game without Martinez to play against is going to put him in a good position. But I do think Ronaldo, this game against Newcastle, and of course, actually one of the things I did read about him earlier was that the last time and the only time that Ronaldo scored a hat-trick in the Premier League was indeed against Newcastle. Will he replicate that in Gameweek 4? Let's see across the course of the weekend. So this week, my 3 top points picks for Gameweek 4. So the 3 players that I think are going to score the most points, one in each position over the course of this weekend. In defence, for Wolves, Roman Saiz, I really do fancy him. I think he is a player that I really want to look to bring in. The price tag puts me off slightly because, of course, Semedo is 4.9 and you can drop right down to Conor Cody for 4.5. Conor Cody, who, by the way, didn't start for England on Wednesday evening, so had a bit of a rest. Going back to Wolves bodes well, but I think Saiz, with his attacking threat and the fact that he has been the most attacking in terms of opportunities and shots on goal for Wolves of that defence, bodes well for him. In midfield, it is the Chelsea maestro, Mason Mount. Not a lot I can say about Mason Mount other than he has been fantastic. And with Lukaku, together as a team moving forward for Chelsea, they are going to be really fantastic, I think, over the course of this season. And against a Martinez-less, as I've said a lot of times, Villa, he could have an absolute hat-fill this weekend. And then finally, but of course, my top points pick for forwards this weekend is indeed Cristiano Ronaldo. How great is it to have him back in the Premier League? Much like the Bale homecoming last year, it's really great to see a legend back at his original home, back at Old Trafford, and this time around, full stands of fans to welcome him home. It's going to be an absolute points haul, I think, this weekend. Let me know in the comments below who you think are going to be the top point scoring defender, midfielder and forward across Game Week 4. If you've enjoyed this video, leave me a like, and if you haven't already done so, please hit that subscribe button. I will see you next week for some more jammy picks and, of course, for my top points picks going into Game Week 5. And Lee and I will be back together, as always, on Sunday at 8:30 to review Game Week 4, to have a little look at how our teams have got on and to look ahead to Game Week 5. Thanks for joining me, guys. Bye.